Okay, so today we're diving deep into Hollow Knight, Silksong. Finally landed in September 2025. 7 years. And our source material.
Yeah.
He's calling it a polished nightmare. So our mission really is to figure out what's great about it and why the difficulty is causing such a huge split.
Yeah, 7 years is, well, it's a long time. That builds up some serious expectations, for you, for everyone.
Yeah.
And we're talking a 2D action Metroidvania, exploration, tough combat, and yeah, those Souls-like bits are back. Losing currency, finding benches.
Right, the benches.
Yeah.
And the sources say reviewers needed, 36 hours just for the true ending? That's a lot.
It's a huge commitment. It definitely makes you wonder if any game could live up to that level of anticipation built over that long.
Let's look at what the sources say works, though. Because despite all the noise, there's clearly something special here.
Yeah.
The visuals, first off. Just striking. Yeah. Really fantastical, and the stages look incredibly varied and vivid.
Oh, absolutely. The art direction is top-notch.
In Hornet, the protagonist, the controls feel really excellent. Sources use the word comfortable for exploration, especially once you get the dash, which is pretty early on.
Which is great, yeah. And don't overlook the music. The character songs are highlighted as being really high quality, adding a lot to the atmosphere, especially mid-game, apparently.
Okay, so comfort is key. But then we hit the main issue. The difficulty. Even veterans are saying this is harder than the original Hollow Knight. The reviewer called it unreasonable, but not incomprehensible. What does that even mean?
Well, it means it's tough, like really tough. But there is a pattern. It's not just random. The main challenge comes from it being 2D. Your evasion space. It's really limited compared to enemy attacks. You can't just, circle around easily.
Okay. So you're kind of locked in.
Exactly. You're basically forced into these specific zones to fight. So beating bosses means practice. Lots of it. Memorizing every single move. And then executing counters instantly. There's not much room for hesitation.
That sounds intense. Almost like a rhythm game sometimes, maybe. Is that intentional design, do you think? Or just unbalanced?
The sources lean towards intentional, but maybe pushed a bit too far for some. And it's not just the combat difficulty that causes friction. It's the other stuff, too. Like the long walk back to a boss after you die. Apparently that only gets better, streamlined, much later in the game.
The dreaded corpse run, but maybe without the corpse. And the currency system. Rosaries. Sounds like that adds to the early pain.
Definitely. They only drop from certain enemies, so they're super scarce at the start, right when you probably need them the most, actually.
Which then ties into the map, right? You need the map in a Metroidvania, it's essential. But you have to buy it with those scarce rosaries.
Precisely. So if you die a few times and you're, quote, penniless, the sources say you actually hesitate to even go into a new area.
Because you can't afford the map if you find the map maker.
Wow. So the game is kind of punishing you for dying by making exploration harder. That feels rough. It is rough. But despite those barriers, the story elements seem to shine through. They keep that masterpiece quality people loved in the first game. Hornet's characterization is apparently really strong, independent, resolute. Her choices really drive things forward. And the supporting cast sounds memorable too. Shelma and Styx get mentioned specifically.
Okay, so the core is still there, and I saw something surprising. You can buy a house, like a home base.
Yeah. A little detail, but it adds this comforting anchor point in a, pretty harsh world. Provides a bit of immersion, a sense of place.
Does it feel useful, though, or just symbolic?
The source implies it's more about the feeling, the symbolism, which kind of loops back to the reward structure. Despite all the frustration, the reviewer ultimately said, playing itself is the reward.
And there's data backing that up.
Seems so. Over 25% of Steam players hit an ending within a month. Game Pass numbers might be lower, but dedicated players. They're pushing through. They're committed.
Okay, so let's try and synthesize this for you, the listener. Silksong clearly nails the world, the visuals, the feel of the action, inheriting all that good stuff. But this intense debate around difficulty, especially the early game friction, seems to be, dominating the conversation.
Right. And that brings up a really interesting point about the launch itself. The sources mention the publisher's fairly limited communication beforehand. The idea is maybe that super quiet approach actually amplified the hype even more. It might have told in players who weren't really prepared for this type of demanding game.
So our final thought to leave you with is about that communication strategy. Does saying less sometimes create these uncontrolled expectations? Expectations that a game, no matter how good, might struggle to actually meet in the market. Something to think about.